Well, hello and welcome to Let's Get Acquainted to have another show, another month. This is the month of April, and we are doing a new theme. Our theme for April, National Stress Awareness Month. The Where we are as a nation, where we are as the world globally, there's still a lot of stress going on, myself included. But how do we deal with it? What are some strategies that we can use so that we can move past it and win? This is still the year of finding ways to win. And so I have with me as a special guest today, Miss Jackie Hunter, and she's a sci-fi author. So I can't wait till the second half of the show to be able to find out more about her and what she's doing and to help other people in the world with her stories. And so before we get started and before we get into this uh, timely conversation, I'm going to just play a quick commercial. And as I play that commercial, please do share the broadcast out, tag a friend. Also, even my replay viewers, I want you to do the same thing. And also, when you come back in, let us know where you're coming in from so we can shout you out. So here we go. We're going to play this quick commercial. And then we're going to get into this awesome conversation tonight because we can win. We all got the power to do something that can help our bodies, help us to de-stress. All right, let me see here. Just clicking away. But let's see, there we go. So I'll see you on the other side of this commercial. What happened? Let's see. All right. You said, well, Miss Hillary, we still don't see the commercial. You know what? Here it is. I'll see you on the other side. Hi, busy women leaders. I'm talking to you. Are you juggling your family, your business, your career, and your health? Afraid that if just one ball drops to the ground, everything could fall apart because everybody's looking at you. You're stressed and overwhelmed. You're looking for answers, for help that's real help, for solutions. I have Vibrant Life Solutions that can help you. I am Hillary Gooden, the Vibrant Life Coach, author, speaker, lymphologist, and pastor. I empower busy women leaders with strategies to reduce stress and anxiety while increasing energy, clarity of mind, better sleep, better health, and vitality. Oh yeah, and boost your immunity. If you're ready for that, you say, I need that in my life right now. Let's connect. You can reach me at www.hillarygooden.com. You can direct message me on Facebook or LinkedIn at Hillary Gooden. Or else if you would like to get on a free 20-minute strategy call, a clarity call, go to bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. That's bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. I absolutely believe you got the power to help your body, help you live a more vibrant life. Yeah. All right. Well, there she is. I'm back with my special guest, Miss Jackie Hunter. Excuse me. Having a few little things going on here today, but I wanted you to see her name here. I just met Miss Jackie very recently, and I'm so honored to have you on my show today. How are you
And
doing?
thank you for having me as a guest.
Yes. So let's know where you coming in from.
I live in Las Vegas. I'm coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
I forgot. Las Vegas. Ooh, it's nice and hot there
Right
because
now, it's not.
it's
The
not.
spring weather and the fall and winter are very nice. It's a summer months when a lot of people tend to come for some reason that is awful hot.
So
We have
okay,
about
so
60 days in the summer that are 100 in the hundreds.
I know, and when I was there, it was smack dab in the middle of it too. I was like,
And the
oh man, how
locals
could
tend to
you
go to the
live
mount.
here?
I would say that the locals tend to go to the mountains in the summer,
Oh wow.
trying to get away
I
from the
loved
heat.
it though because here in Chicago, I'm in the Chicagoland area, and Chicago, we don't summer never lasts long enough. And I love warm weather, but that was a challenge for me there. But I do love me some
uh,
warm weather.
yeah,
So I'm so glad. Go
it's
ahead.
pretty cold there, isn't it? Cold and windy.
It lasts too long. That's why I cherish the days that we do have of hot summer weather. I do not complain. I don't care how hot it gets because we all know that hawk
Mhm.
is gonna return and it's gonna be some cold days ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm so glad this is our first show for the month of April, dealing with our new theme. And the theme for this month is National Stress Awareness Month. And so I was saying, there's so many people that are still dealing with stress at alarming levels. More people than I think ever before. And so we're going to just get into this and just talk about it. I know when we were talking, you said, well, I don't really have that kind of stress. And I'm interested to know, what do you do to stay so calm, cool, and collected? We all
Well,
want to know.
I can't say that I'm always calm, cool, and collective, but one thing that I do all the time is I walk. I start my day with a 30-minute walk, and
Yeah,
I do that even before I have breakfast.
yeah, that's
Two
good.
reasons. It helps keep me calm, and I can focus and plan my day nicely. And it also, when I have my breakfast, the calories burn a little bit faster. So it
Yeah.
helps with weight. But I want to share
Wow.
something with you. I did some research about walking and doing a 30-minute walk on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And Web MD says, may I share this?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. It says a 30-minute morning walk will make you feel better. It will lower the risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. And I didn't even know that it would affect cancer.
Yeah.
It can also help clear your mind, lower your blood pressure, increase your energy, improve your memory, and lower your risk for dementia.
Now, see,
And is that
that's
something?
this is walking is a beautiful way to help you help your body. Uh, that's my mantra around here. You got the power to help your body help you to have better
Mhm.
health and a more vibrant life. And something like walking, most of us, I mean, unless you got some other issues going on, can do some walking, whether it's
Exactly.
a little or a lot, because it's not about getting out there and trying to walk real fast, but it's just a fact of moving the body. God intended for
Exactly.
us to move our bodies. And so that's an excellent way, because I said, man, as soon as this weather breaks here, that's something that I plan to do because I love getting outside as well. But I've been staying in like a bit more than usual because I'm just ready for this weather to change. Change for the better.
Look at this.
So,
I'm wearing a Fit Pro watch,
yeah.
and it counts my steps. And I aim for 10,000 steps per day.
So what's your average?
I would say maybe 11,000.
Oh,
Um, yeah, let's see. Right now I'm 10,182, and in Vegas, it's only 4 o'clock, so 4:12. So I still have more time
all
to add
right.
to it, but it
All
just
right.
keeps me from sitting a lot,
Yeah.
and that is definitely good for stress.
All right.
Mhm.
So we're going to go ahead and get started into some of this other conversation about just stress awareness. And, it was started being observed back in 1982, since 1992, rather, and as a national observance, and it was because they figured, that there's so much stress that people need to find out different things that they can do and begin to do that. Just like someone was asking me last week, well, what exercise is the best exercise? Now, Miss Jackie, I'm a certified lymphologist dealing with the lymphatic system. And the best way to work your lymphatic system is bouncing on a mini trampoline. So I'll tell anybody
Isn't that interesting?
that's the
I didn't
best
know that.
exercise to do. But the best exercise, what do you think the best exercise is?
Well, for me, I think of getting in the pool. I get in the
Mm,
pool 3 to 4 times a week, and
yeah.
I feel great when I get out. And I'm thinking all that water pushing against my skin is helping the lymphatic system too. That's what I
Yes,
was thinking.
absolutely. And
Am I right?
it's the weightlessness that helps it. And it's the same thing with the bouncing. When you bounce on the
Okay.
mini trampoline, at the bottom of the bounce, that's where the different check valves open and allow the lymph fluid to rush up through the body in order to help the vessels to do what they do to help rid the body of trapped and buildup of cellular waste. And wherever that buildup occurs, they've given it different names, whether it's lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis,
Isn't that
cancer, tumors.
something?
They've given it a whole host of names. But if we can get rid of that, also, you think about inflammation, that's what it is. And that's a sign that your lymphatic system is not working properly. And so
Wow.
the movement, but you know what? I tell people the best exercise is the exercise that you will do.
Oh my gosh,
You
that is
say
so true.
swimming, I say bouncing. But if it's
But
walking, go take that walk. If it's riding a bike, go ride your bike. Do the exercise you will do. If it's standing up, just walking in place, doing some jumping jacks, do what you will do. That's
whatever.
the best exercise.
And try for 30 minutes every single day, and I feel like you're bound to feel much better. But I didn't know about the trampoline. I'm going to get a small trampoline
Yeah,
and put it in my backyard.
I have to. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
is the whole reason why I'm doing social media. And if I retired from my job in 2019, and God had just given me this whole thing of this is my life work. With your the scripture that says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good
Hmm.
health, even as your soul prospers." I'm also a pastor, so I know about the spiritual part, know a lot of stuff there.
Mm.
And in the first part, that you prosper in every area of your life, so being a leader I was a CFO on the job before, and just so many things that I learned about people and relationships and, all of that stuff. But I was like, what about the health part? How is that supposed to work into what I'm doing? I don't even
Mm.
understand. But
Well,
I had a
I can.
chronic cough that I was always dealing with. And that led me on the journey, and that's a whole nother story, but it led me on the journey to finding out about the lymphatic system. And once I did, I went all in, and so that's my whole thing, is teaching people how you can activate and maintain a healthy lymphatic system to have a more vibrant life.
That
So
sounds
here it
wonderful.
says, stress can be debilitating, and it can cause and or aggravate health problems. And you read off some earlier, you know, and that stress, I, I don't know if most people know this. I just want to say stress can cause your body. How? I'm going to say this. I start getting a little excited, but stress has the same effect in your body as poison.
I can believe that.
Hmm.
I was reading that it helps create cortisol, and
Yeah,
that can even make you get fatty tissue around your stomach.
around your stomach, like wow.
Yes, and when I see that, when I see somebody with a really thick stomach, I think, oh my gosh, they might be experiencing a lot of stress on a regular basis, and that
Yes.
could be why they have that.
Yeah, I put out a
Yeah,
post today. Earlier today, I was just feeling some kind of way this morning. I don't know. We all do that sometime, you know. And I said, man, I was just sitting there. I said, I need a hug. And so
that's
then I put out a post, you know, just telling people hug somebody today because it helps to release those oxytocin, the good feel chemicals from your brain that makes you feel good, that can help
mm,
to combat that cortisol,
uh-huh.
you know, and it can help
That's a
to
great.
reduce the cortisol. So that's a reason alone to go hug somebody.
I agree. That's a wonderful idea. I love that.
Do it for
Definitely.
your health's sake. And because it's going to make you feel good and make the other person feel good too. Right?
That reminds me, another thing that I might do to alleviate stress is watch a comedy because
Yes. Laugh.
laughing a lot it helps boost the immune system and gets rid of stress.
And it's for the same reason. It helps to, those endorphins get released from the brain, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that can help to combat that cortisol buildup, you know.
Mm.
And what's so amazing about laughter, you can laugh. We could sit here right now and just start laughing. Our brain and body doesn't know that it's nothing to laugh at, but it
Mm.
triggers that reaction for the brain to kick in, you know.
Mm.
Did you know that?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, I know. We
Yeah.
can fool the brain into thinking we're doing. Some people say they can fool the brain into thinking they're exercising, but I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one. Well,
Isn't
maybe.
that right?
Well, I don't know. They must be pretty good. Yes, and so, yeah. So, stress is something that is a. How would you want to read this comment here?
Sure. It says stress is a normal part of human existence. Nobody is immune to it. It's important to arm ourselves with knowledge. And I definitely agree with that. With
Yes,
knowledge, knowledge is so important.
right. You know that saying said knowledge is power. And
True.
I always tell people you got the power, you know, and you got the power because of you can always nowadays you can Google something, Google right quick,
Hmm.
or go to
Hmm.
YouTube University and find out about almost anything, you know.
True. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
and you
I
know, and
love the
it's
internet.
yes, and
It's,
it's just
it's like
something that.
having.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I love the internet. When I was a child, I used to spend a lot of time in in the library, and I enjoyed reading encyclopedias. But now that we have the internet, I just love doing research and just learning just so many different things. And
Yes.
so there is an awful lot of knowledge for us to learn how we can make sure that we are stress free and feeling great.
Hmm. And even learning helps your stress levels.
Oh gosh,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely, definitely.
that's what
Stimulates the
some
brain. Yes.
exactly, and that's
Another
what.
thing that I feel is very important that helps me with stress is just eating properly, making sure that I start off with a very healthy breakfast, and you know, one thing I found out that I just recently that I did not know is that mhm, as a are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. As a senior, I need just as much protein as a young growing person, a young growing teenager, because I was talking with a nutritionist, and he was telling me and a friend of mine that we should have 30 grams of protein with each meal because this protein is going to help us to heal. And it does take a little bit longer for muscles to heal in an older person. And I thought, I hadn't, I should have thought of that. It's very rational to think of that. So, but it was
Yeah.
good to know that. But I also found out in my reading that there are certain foods that will help produce dopamine, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
happy hormone. And
Mm-hmm.
I found out that dairy foods like milk, cheese, and yogurt were high in dopamine. I didn't know that. And I'm like, okay, this is great. So I do have yogurt a lot of times with my breakfast. So that probably helps me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of yogurt.
Even with a little honey in it.
I've tried it. I've tried it, and I'm like, okay, this is just not for me. But yeah, we have to help our bodies, and sometimes it's simple fixes. By just tweaking your diet,
I
not
know.
just saying that you have to stop uh, eating some foods that you enjoy, but add to it those fresh fruits and vegetables. You know, add to it
Amen.
drinking more water. Things of that nature that can help you.
Yes.
So I want us to go through these. And man, we're at almost a half hour already, and we
Oh
haven't even
my.
got started into our fun facts yet. So fact number one that I want to go through, it says according to the National Institute of Mental Health, stress can motivate people to prepare or perform, and might even be life saving in some situations. So we need stress. We need that what it is, the energy that
Mm.
comes in a stressful situation that can make you do things that you need to get done.
Right.
Or he says
Uh,
even life saving, where you need to get out of the way quickly. You need to step aside quickly. You need to put a little
I
pep in it.
agree.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need it, but the problem is sometimes with people living day to day, day to day at high levels of stress, and that cortisol is constantly being released,
Yeah.
because that's what happens in that fight or flight. It releases that cortisol, and then it helps you to to be able to make quick decisions or quick moves that you need to do. But we shouldn't be living like that every single day.
I agree. I
Hmm.
definitely agree.
And we're going to move through to number two. And number
Hmm.
two, if you don't mind reading that one, is just as it
Okay.
comes up.
It's up now.
Okay.
People under stress, especially those prone to chronic stress, are more susceptible to a variety of ailments, from headaches and insomnia to high blood pressure and heart disease. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really something, isn't it?
it
They're
is.
so
It
they're more
is.
prone to chronic stress, making
Yeah.
room for it, you know.
Hmm.
And you don't think people don't think of it that way. And sometimes it may sound like you're being a little, I don't know what word it would be, but you're gonna make room for good health, or you're gonna make room for frustrated health that's gonna cause you to be more prone to stress and the effects of it, or doing things that's going to help you to have more calm, more peace in your life.
Well, I think sometimes people are not even aware of how much stress they're under. I remember
Yes.
let me give you an example. I remember when I was teaching school and working on my master's, and I really didn't realize my brain was just racing from one task and goal to the other
Mm-hmm.
continuously. And then I met people who are more into yoga, like my friend Belinda Todd and Imaja Jubilee. they
Yes.
are into yoga and self-love and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
just sitting down and beginning to meditate initially was very
Mm-hmm.
difficult for me because my mind was racing, and
Yes.
I didn't even realize it until I sat down and tried to meditate. But I meditate often now. It's not a problem
Yeah.
for me, but sometimes people need to just sit down and just go within and just be quiet for a moment and see, kind of
Yeah.
see how they really are feeling.
And that's one of the hardest things for people to do. Like you said, that's when you'll recognize that you are stressed. When you're not able to sit
Hmm.
still in
Yes.
quietness, being
Hmm.
mindful of the moment that you're in. I was
Yes.
talking to a lady one day, and we were talking about mindfulness and meditation and prayer, because prayer is really a beautiful thing as well. And so
Hmm.
I pray, but I like to get quiet after I'm done praying, not just jump up and run and start getting things done, but take some moments to just to sit with it, with the
Yes, I
presence of the
agree.
Lord. Just be quiet. And she said, I don't. She said every time I sit down to meditate, 1,000 things will like run through my mind, and I can't sit there because I got things to do. I got things to do. What would you say to someone who says something like that?
Mm.
That they every time they try, all
Well,
these thoughts are running through their head. Of they need to
if
wash the
they
dishes. They need to go
really
get something.
take
They need
their
to.
health seriously, I would suggest to put a timer on for 20 minutes.
Mm,
If they're just getting started, maybe 10 minutes. I like to do 20 minutes, but 10 minutes so they
mm,
don't have to be thinking about time, just to sit back and relax and just take deep breaths.
yeah.
Close their eyes and just take deep breaths and just focus on the
Mhm,
breathing, and then
yeah.
the timer goes off. They might say, oh, this felt pretty good. Maybe I can do 10 more minutes. But I think if they
Yeah.
are thinking about the time getting away from them, then they're not going to be going into their hearts, their head and their heart space. They're not going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would
Yeah.
suggest, using a timer.
Yeah. And that's
Hmm.
a great idea. And I'm gonna tell you,
Thank
some
you.
people they may have to start off at maybe 5 minutes, even if they could do 5 minutes, because that's a long time when you're just getting started. And you know,
True. That
it's
is
a long,
true.
and it can make a world of difference. That's what people don't know. It don't have to take a lot for you to help your body.
I
It don't
know.
take a lot. And
And
and another thing that I heard about that, another suggestion is to take a pen and paper with you. And when a thought like you need to do something, write it down and then just stay in that moment. Stay, because
uh-huh.
your
Uh-huh.
your mind is gonna constantly say, we're not used to doing this. What are we doing? We got places to go and people to
Yeah.
see.
Why are you
The kids
slowing me
need you, the
down?
husband.
I'm used to racing, right?
Yes. Yes. I always tell
So
people the more you do a thing, the easier it is. The easier it
that's
is, the
true.
more you do it.
That is definitely true. And
When
I
it's
there was a time when
doing it
I
for
would
your
meditate.
health's sake.
True. I agree with you 100%.
Go ahead.
100%. Oh, I was going to say I have a nighttime or bedtime routine. I have this app called Calm,
Hmm.
and you might have heard of it.
Yeah, I've seen it on
And
TV advertised.
yeah, they advertise it a lot, but Imaja is the one who shared it with me, and so it's part of my bedtime routine because I need to just wind down a little bit at bedtime,
Hmm.
and it helps me with that. There is a lady, the one that I use is a lady, and she will share some different topics that will make you kind of think, and but it also helps you to slow yourself down because
Hmm.
there's a gentle music playing in the background as
Yes.
well as like raindrops or something like that in nature,
Yes.
and so it just kind of slows me down and I have deeper sleep and I don't wake up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
So that kind of thing will help, might help somebody.
Absolutely. That calming your breath, that breathing, even
Hmm.
even that bouncing on a mini trampoline to work your lymphatic system at just a few minutes before bedtime can have that
Really?
same effect and have the best sleep that you've ever had. Really, it's
I was thinking
amazing.
about trying it in the morning, in the daytime, because I was
And
thinking it might energize me.
I'm getting ready to say it will help you to get energized for the day. But you know the beautiful thing is your body knows. You know you have a body clock in there. You know your
Yes, that's
circadian
true.
rhythm, and your body knows when you're winding down for the day or if you're getting your day started. And you
Uh-huh.
know if it's energy that you need when you do it, that's what's going to happen. If it's sleep that you need when you do it, that's what's going to happen. Amazing that the body knows. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go on
Well,
to number
I
three so we can get to number
okay.
four so we can get to you. And so
Okay.
number three, you can take number three and then I'll take the last one.
Okay.
Or did you
A
do number
survey
two?
by the American Psychological Association found that the five factors most often cited as a source of stress were money, work, family, economic outlook, and relationships. Amen to
Mm,
that. Yeah, I could see that.
yes. And that
Especially
is,
money.
and this is even, you know, if you watch an old Western movie, money, work, family, economic outlet, this has been going on a long time. And it probably always will be, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
because we're people and we're all different, you know, and we go through stuff. We go through some of the same situations in different ways, and we have, and
yes,
you know, we all have to interact with one another. That's when the issues can come up, and like talk about
right.
relationships, and
And with inflation now,
yes,
that's
yes,
that really has made things tough for a lot of people,
yeah,
you
and
know.
just now a lot of people are starting to go back to work, but I'm
Mhm.
seeing and hearing how a lot of jobs are allowing their workers to have flex schedules because
Mhm.
being coming through the pandemic and working from home, you they've they've seen what business can be conducted that way. They don't necessarily
I'm
have
so
to be in
glad.
the office. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so people are coming in where they're working in office 3 days and at home 2 days, or vice versa, or some kind of way that they have these
Hmm.
different alternate realities than that are post pandemic, you know, that weren't going on before, and
So
people are
that's
seeing that they had more uh, peace working from home, you know, and still doing their jobs, but just sitting in that
mhm.
office saying, "Man, am I going to do that again?"
Right, exactly. So to me, that's one of the good things that came out of the pandemic is that
Yeah,
people now have more choices for how they want to work. Yeah,
yes, absolutely, and families came together more,
I
you
think
know.
so too.
So I don't think it's some things that it happened for God in His awesomeness and His
Mhm.
bigness. This thing happened to the whole wide world, you know, and affected.
It was yeah, it was pretty scary, but
Yeah,
yeah, but because it happened all over the world, it was like you have nowhere to run. So
nowhere.
you
You had
have to
to
just accept it and adapt to it.
adapting. Now that's the thing there, adapting, and that's part of the stress. Some people are not. You know, your body don't like change. It likes things to remain the same.
That's
Your
true.
mind is constantly trying to keep things the same, and so being able to adapt is a big key, you know, to being to stressing less, because
Yeah,
change
I
is not
agree.
always bad. Change is a good thing.
Oh, I
What are your
definitely
thoughts?
agree with that.
Yeah. Yes, because even like going from being working every day, like you were saying, and you were in school, once you got your master's, okay, now we're shifting into another little thing here. And then when you retire, that's a whole nother, excuse me, adapting that takes place. You know, it's just
Mhm.
it's
But
just a part of a life changing seasons and all of that.
that's true. But my personality requires me to always be learning
Mm-hmm.
and to always be growing. So I have set up schedules for myself to follow so I can accomplish certain goals. Uh, I'm doing Spanish on
Oh.
one of my apps on my phone, and I do it every day for about
Mm-hmm.
10 or 15 minutes. And
Wow.
just constantly learning. I think that helps us too with stress. Just learning something new and having interests, different interests besides work. And the reason I say that is because my boyfriend was a workaholic,
Mm.
and then he had a severe heart attack.
Wow.
And now he works. He doesn't work quite as often, and he's spending more time working on his novel.
Mm.
So now he said he feels better because when he works on his novel, he kind of lose track of time. So I
Yeah.
think if people can find different hobbies, things that make them feel good and make them lose track of time, then
Mm.
that's something they can do too to help alleviate stress.
Yeah. And that's that good stress, where you're stressed as far as, coming up with ideas uh or how to make
Yeah,
this
that's the
novel
fun
work.
stress.
But that's a good stress.
Right, I get
And
you.
so
That's the fun
yeah,
stress. Yeah.
I forget it's a name for it, but I can't think of it right now. But good stress, we need to try to spend more time on that realm of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's when you're doing things that you enjoy doing, like being an entrepreneur, being an author. It has its stresses, but it's doing something you love and something you enjoy.
Exactly.
So that's a good stress.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
I would agree
Yeah.
with that.
So that's all good. We're going to go to our fourth one, and then we're going to shift. Going to shift here.
Hmm.
The last one says a report on Wallet Hub found that the most stressed out states in America are Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia. And the least stressed is Minnesota, North Dakota, and Utah. When I saw this, I thought, hmm, I'm surprised I don't see Chicago in there or Illinois, New York
I,
City. Yes.
I wonder if it has something to do with the amount of education a person has.
Mm,
Because I think about West Virginia, and I don't generally think of college educated people living there. For some reason, I don't think of that. But I
okay.
do know that in North Dakota and Utah, there is a lot of wealth. I do know that. So that might have
Mm,
something to do with it too. Maybe more poverty in West Virginia and Louisiana. I don't know a whole
wow.
lot about New Mexico, but
Yeah.
hmm
I just thought that was amazing. And I didn't know if maybe you knew something I didn't know. But yeah, this was a study that they said, and
hmm
I was just surprised that some of the other states, where there's things, a lot of stuff going on, like California, and I'm just surprised that they're not on there, and for whatever reason.
well, I would be surprised if California was on it because and Californians have the best weather in the country and there's an awful lot of wealth in California. So
Yeah.
that's a good reason to not have too much stress.
Okay. Okay. So then you're really thinking about it in terms of economic
Right,
levels.
right.
Okay. All
For
right.
me,
And
for
education.
right, for me, when I was young and in my early 20s and in college and financially strapped, that was my most stressful time.
It can be really stressful. I'm telling you. Yeah. Man, it can be really stressful. And so
Mhm.
I just thought, so if you're listening to this broadcast and you live in one of those stressful states, find ways that you can win so that you can be stress less. We none of us are immune from stress,
Right,
whether it's good
right.
stress or bad stress. Even when you're doing things you love, there's a certain amount of stress that comes with it.
That's
but
true.
you want to
That's true.
find ways to win, moving your body, eating foods that are going to be more uh, healthy for your body. Because we're talking about being able to live a long, healthy, stressless, stress-free, you know. And so whatever that takes in Louisiana and New Mexico and West Virginia, find ways to win. And that's what we were talking about here tonight. That
Right.
just moving your body, eating more properly, doing what you can to get better sleep, and
Exactly.
because all of those things will help you to stress less.
I
And
would
the
agree
more
with
that you
that.
can stress less, the better life will be. Even if it's just a little bit, you can add on that.
And I like to add a thing too.
Yes.
Um, Education is so important, and if
Mhm.
they are financially strapped, then somehow if they can get the education to get a better job, and and if they need to relocate where the jobs are, that might
Yeah.
be the best thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what this pandemic has done. There are people who no longer are living where they started out because of different things that happened during that these last couple of years, you
Hmm.
know, but they wouldn't have otherwise made those moves if they hadn't
Exactly.
happened. Some people went within and said, "Man, I always did love baking. We got to get some money together." And now they have baking business, and they're sending their products out globally. Around
Yeah.
nationally.
Hmm.
So many entrepreneurs came through because
Yeah,
they
that's
tapped
great.
into. Yes.
Hmm. Oh, I was going to say, I think that's really great because
Mm-hmm.
that for me, I honestly believe that that is one way to, especially for our young Black people,
Mm-hmm.
to gain some wealth. Um,
Yes.
that's There's definitely more wealth in owning your own business than working for someone else.
Yes. And
Hmm.
again, it has its stresses. But when you're
I'm sure
stressing
it
and you're
does.
doing, yeah, when you're stressing and you're doing something you love, it don't have the same effect. It don't dig as deep
Hmm. Hmm.
as when you're doing it for somebody else on a job that you hate going to every day. Oh my goodness. I can
Yeah, that's double
attest to that. It
stress.
had gotten to the point, man, I did not want to go to that job. And I would be there thinking, I have got to get out of here. I can't do
if a
this
person
anymore.
if a person is feeling that way and thinking that way, then they probably should. But I do suggest that they make sure they have another job in the pipe before they leave,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
it will not be any fun to be out of work and looking for work,
Yeah.
so get the job and then leave.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just amazing, and I'm
Mhm.
glad that this is going to be our discussion for this month.
Mm,
Every Thursday I'm having on a different guest, and this is the topic for the month that we'll be talking about from each person's different perspective. Because I want to shift because now we just have a few minutes. I want to give you the floor so that you can tell us whatever it is you like to tell us about who you are and what you do in this world to help other people. I know that you were
okay.
an educator for many years, and I'd love to hear a little bit, about Miss Jackie. So I'm going to give you the
Okay.
floor for a few minutes, all right?
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're ready.
First of all, I want to share with your listeners my novel. I'm trying to make sure you can
Oh,
see it.
what is it
It's
called?
called Lost in the Red Hills of Mars. And like I said earlier, I'm a sci fi author. I'm working on my second novel right now. And this novel is about a teenage girl who lives in the first human colony on Mars. And
Oh,
the second book that I'm working on right now, the late young girl's name is Celine, and she's gonna travel on a rocket, spaceship rather, from Mars to Earth. So that will be her adventures then. And I'm also in author in this book. It's called On Womanhood. It should, for me, it might even say should say on adulthood, because I believe that men can get some good ideas from this book also.
Yes.
This was written by a group of writers called Focused Writers. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you've heard of Focused Writers before.
No.
It's a group that was started by Stacey Hawkins Adams, she's got 11 books out and she's won awards through Essence. And she had us to do an anthology. And we've got each of the members have put an essay in there. My
Okay.
essay is the last essay, and I think it will help a lot of people who are trying to change their lives in some way, and it gives ideas about how to grow and how to set goals and stuff like that. It's really good, and
Okay.
I feel like all the other essays will be very helpful to someone too.
Give me
And
the name
not
of that
last but
one more
not
time.
least, I'm sorry, I missed something.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a workbook out too, and it's also called Lost in the Red Hills of Mars. And having been an educator, um, I thought a teacher would want a novel and a reading comprehension check workbook. So I do have that. Were you saying you did not get the title for this one?
Yeah, what was that?
On womanhood.
On.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Uh huh. This one is very new. We just published this one in February, and what I have done, I've always been, well, I would say for the past 3 years, 4 years, I've been an advocate for STEM education. And what I had noticed is that a lot of young people had come out of college and they weren't able to find jobs in the fields that they had majored in. And they came out
Yeah.
with lots of debt. I even knew quite a few people who were in $130,000 worth of debt. So I thought,
Mm.
there's got to be a different way to do this. And so I started doing a TV show called The Rippy Effect. And what I
Mm-hmm.
did was I interviewed young females, but I also interviewed any person of color who was in a STEM career. That's the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Because there was a lot of, at the time I did it, there was a lot of scholarship money available for those people and
Mm-hmm.
grant money. And when they came out of college, there were good jobs available for them. So I wanted these young women and people of color to see themselves in the people that I interviewed, and so that was one of the ways that I felt like I was motivating young people to take a look at STEM careers. I also started a not for profit company, and the idea being that we would raise money and we would send young people to places like space camp or some science camp, because when young people have the opportunity to do things like that, they realize that science and mathematics can be a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
so then they might think of it in terms of a career or majoring in it in college and get good paying jobs. So the nonprofit I started, unfortunately, at the end of November of 2019, and had planned to do a brunch in Atlanta, Georgia in May of 2020, and that's when we hit the pandemic. So I'm waiting for all of that to be behind me, and when people feel comfortable coming out and supporting a brunch, I'm going to do that to raise money. I haven't forgotten that dream. I'm going to
Yeah.
do that, raise money to send middle school students. I think that's a good age to start to places like that.
Yes. Yes. Those are the exposure
That's it.
is critical
Yes.
to them having an awareness and a vision of seeing what could be the possibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that. I really love that
Thank you.
because we don't have enough of uh, young people of color. It's growing. I believe it's growing,
It
but
is
it still
growing,
needs
but
to
like
be
it
much
right now,
more.
I used to have statistics right at my fingertip for that, but there are not a lot of female, black or white, really, and
Yeah, that's the
not a
other
lot of
thing.
people of color who are in
Yeah,
those fields.
yeah. I know a young lady that I met here on Facebook actually, and she is in STEM, and she started because she saw herself being amongst so many men and not women in
Hmm.
the not enough women, and she
Right.
started like a non-for-profit, and today she has women from globally, just from everywhere, that
Hmm.
gather together, for that. They need that, that camaraderie and that support,
Right. Right.
you know. So I think
I
it's a
would love
wonderful thing.
to know this person. When you get a chance, maybe you could text me her information.
I sure can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I always admired her. She would show her pictures in her hard hat and everything, and on these sites, and some of the things that she was going through. She was like, whew, you know.
I know.
And you
I
talking
know.
about stress, stuff like that can stress
Uh
you,
huh. Uh huh.
So even having that, there's what do they say? There's power in numbers, and just
It just
having.
makes a person, it just makes people feel more comfortable to have, others around them who are like themselves. I understand that.
Hmm.
Um, but and right now there are a lot of white men in those positions, and we just need to have more female. We need to see more women because women tend to pay great attention to detail. Even men have admitted that.
Yes. Yes, and that's just like, I just want to say a quick shout out to Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Jackson for being,
Yay! I saw
being
that.
confirmed
That's
today.
wonderful.
Yes, yes, it happened.
Yes,
Yay!
it's
The
great.
first.
I'm so
It's always
happy.
somebody's got to be the first. Yes,
I
absolutely.
feel so
And so a lot of
blessed.
young people, hmm yeah, to live to see this
Yeah,
happening in
that's
our
what I was gonna
time.
say. I feel so blessed to be alive and to see this happen. To see we have a black female vice president and to have a black
Hmm.
president. I didn't think that I would live to see that. So I'm
Yeah, so
very
it's a,
happy to
yes,
be in these
absolutely.
times. Hmm.
And it wasn't easy, and just watching her under that stress. But then she had that
Oh
support of
gosh.
her mother and her father were there every day. Her
Yeah,
husband was
family can
there every day,
yeah,
and
family can
that
be very helpful.
alone helped her to, keep her composure, because it was some things that were being said, and, wasting of time that was just, you know,
Mhm.
mm, put her under great pressure, but she came through it magnificently, I would say, you know. Yeah, seriously, because some of the stuff I was looking at my TV like, and she held her composure. So, how can people uh, get your book? Do they go to Amazon, or do you have some other source you would like them to go to?
Amazon.com will have my book Lost in the Red
Okay.
Hills of Mars, and also the one that Focus
Okay.
Writers did
All
on
right. So,
womanhood.
is there any other
All of
contact
those.
information that you would like to share?
Sure. I have a
Okay.
website. It's called the Rippy. Rippy is my maiden name. Rippy. The
Oh,
Rippy Effect
okay.
.com. And should I type it in the chat?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Fact.com.
.com. Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
it tells about the nonprofit. It also tells about my YouTube channel with the TV shows that I did,
Okay.
and it also connects to the book. Hmm.
All right. So I'm so glad, and listen, if you're interested in getting in contact with Miss Jackie, she says she don't mind me calling her Miss Jackie. So Miss Jackie, if you're interested in getting in contact with her, just go to www.therippyeffect.com,
.com.
and you'll be able to find out more about who she is and what she's doing, and what she's done, to because she has a heart. If you didn't hear it, she has a heart for our young people.
I
She
do.
spent a lot of years educating, and
Mhm.
now she's doing something. It's writing novels. Is that something you always wanted to do, but you just didn't have the time?
Actually, when I was 12, I used to write short stories and poems all the
Oh,
time. And then when I retired, I did a number of things. And then I thought, when I didn't have anything to do, I thought, what do I remember that I loved when I was a child? And I
mm,
enjoyed writing and I enjoyed drawing and painting. So I still do that. But then once I started writing a short story, I thought, well, I need a bigger challenge. And I saw on Meetup, there was an organization
yeah,
called, huh? You see, you Meetup? Okay,
yeah,
Agile
yeah.
Writers. And Greg Smith, the founder of Agile Writers, said that he could teach anyone how to write a novel in 6 months. And I'm like, doggone it, that's my new challenge. And so
I
I
love
finished my
it.
manuscript, yes, in 6 months. But that's just the beginning because you have to do a lot of editing and rewriting, trying to
Yeah,
make it,
yeah,
yeah, to perfect it.
yeah.
But that's how I got into it. And I just love it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, now I have to start putting my book right here. I wrote a book too,
Uh huh.
and it took me so long to get started, and because I kept making it, I kept overthinking. Frankly, I kept overthinking the thing, and once I did figure out what I wanted to put in that book, and I
Uh huh.
got started,
Mm-hmm.
it just it just flowed, and I think it took me probably about 90 days or so that I
Okay.
was in and done and had edited, and because I'm
It,
kind of, I got that eye for editing.
uh,
When I was working, if anybody had any kind of projects and stuff, take it to Miss Hillary so she can look it over first.
uh-huh.
Because
Uh-huh.
that was just that thing. But yeah, the hardest part is getting started for a lot of things like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you tapped in.
Well, I teach a workshop for middle school students who are
Oh,
interested in writing a novel.
oh,
And it's a 45
wonderful.
minute workshop. And I've done it for free. I've gone to libraries and the librarians will pick out students who are interested in writing. And I just had the best time. It's a good way
I
to
think
stay
it's a
connected with
wonderful
young people.
idea.
Hmm?
That's a
It's a good
wonderful
way to stay
idea.
connected with thank you, with young people. I didn't get the
Hmm.
name of your book.
Yeah, it's called Transform. Hold on one second. I'm going to get this book right
Okay,
quick
okay.
because it's right here behind this green screen. Okay. So this is my book. I Can you see it?
It's a self-help book.
Uh, well, it's called You Got the Power. I don't know. You can't see it because of this green screen. Looks like.
Mm, okay. I see it now. I saw it.
Oh, there we go. You Got the Power, 7 Ways to Transform Your Health and Peace. And so
Wow.
my book,
That
this
sounds very
particular one
important.
is about what I do as a coach, as a speaker. It's all in here,
Hmm.
so my programs, my coaching, my courses and stuff come from this. This is what God's given me to do, with my life. But
Is
I
it
am
like a
writing
is it like a is it also like a health book too? Because it tells people what to do for their lymph system?
yes. And what I did, excuse me, what I
Hmm.
did, I kind of at the end of each chapter, it has like uh, some things you can do, little exercises behind each chapter to challenge people to, because dealing with the lymphatic system and dealing with better health, Miss Jackie, I found you have to deal with stuff that's you don't think about, like the words you speak and the thoughts you think.
Oh gosh, that makes
Being
sense.
able to love and being able to forgive, these things are major underlying keys that people don't think about that could be hindering their
Hmm.
health.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I got stuff like that in there, how to deal with, a chapter on stress and different things. And then I get into talking about the lymphatic system and some of the benefits, some of the pitfalls
Well,
and different stuff like that. It's all in here. And it
well,
ends
I
up
want a
talking about,
copy. I'm
okay,
gonna
wonderful.
I'm gonna purchase a copy. But I
Okay. Okay.
so
Then
can I go to Amazon and get it?
you know what? I have a website where you can get it, and it's Hillary
Okay.
Gooden, HillaryGooden.com.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And so it's $5 off on there and free shipping in the States.
Oh,
So yeah, you get it
okay.
from there.
I'm
Yeah.
writing that. Okay.
Okay. So I have enjoyed you to this evening, and what I would love for you to do right now is to give your last final nugget that you would like to leave the audience with, those that have come in and out, and those that will listen to this, after we're done, because it'll still be up, and we don't know who may come across it and need it, and listen to it and be blessed by it. What would you leave as your final nugget for them?
Well, I want people to realize that their health is extremely important, and that one good thing they can do that will improve their health and alleviate some of the stress in their life is exercise. Is one of the most important things that anyone can do, is to exercise and do it on a regular basis. Be very consistent. And I know that health officials will say 30 minutes a day, and just make that your minimum. Um, Exercise on a regular basis, eat healthy foods. If you can afford it, do organics, eat foods that haven't been processed. Um, if you can go to the farmer's market to get fresh vegetables and fruits, then do it, because there's a greater amount of nutrition in these foods from local farmers rather than getting foods that have crossed the country. Make sure that you are drinking enough water. One of the things that I do to make sure that I get enough water is to put out 3 bottles of water, at least 3 bottles, because that gives me about 60 ounces of water. And normally you should have 64 ounces. So if I get 60 ounces of water and maybe have some juice or some milk, I'm getting my hydration. So I feel like that's important. Make sure that you are getting enough sleep. That's going to be a very important part of being healthy. Do the things that can make you relax and wind down before sleeping, so you will get some deep quality sleep. So stay healthy, love yourself, love your family and your friends. And actually, if you love the world, and forgive the world, forgive anyone who has done some things to harm you or your family. Forgive them, and know that we are born in love, and we should live in love, and God is love. Thank you.
Oh wow, I think you just said it all. I just say my nugget is ditto to what she said. And I was thinking as you were speaking, we need to love God and love people, really.
Yes.
And you find that thing, and I would say find that thing that you love to do. Even if,
Amen.
you work in a 9 to 5, that's fine, but find something you enjoy doing, because it helps to take your mind off of stresses, the,
Yes.
the day-to-day
Yes.
stresses in your life. And it can
Yes.
help you to have a place that's your space, and it helps you to rewind and rejuvenate. And so find something that you enjoy doing and go for it.
Amen.
Give yourself permission to do something for you that's gonna be for your health's sake. Find a hobby, whatever it may be. There are a host
Hmm.
of hobbies. Find something that you would enjoy, and go for it. That's what I would say. And so I want to thank everyone. I want to thank you, Miss Jackie, again for being on today and for just having a wealth of knowledge and experience and your perspective on different things that we talked about, and for your research that you did in preparing for the show, just sharing about, things that people can do for their health. I appreciate you so much.
My pleasure.
Amen. And so I'm going to ask you if you will wait backstage for a moment, and then I'm going to close this out.
Okay.
Okay. So this was Let's Get Acquainted, and this is our first show for the month of April in National Stress Awareness Month. You can be with me again next week when I'll have on a different guest. We'll be talking about this topic through the month, and just it's my prayer and hope that you will find something that will be said that's going to help you so that you can stress less. And when you can stress less, your health is going to benefit. Trust me. And so every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. I want to say also, I have scrolling across the bottom there, Women in Stress, Break Break Free One Breath at a Time. So I have a three-part series coming up. It'll be May 26th, 27th, and 28th. And it'll be $97. If you're interested in this, it's a three-part. Did I say three-part? Three-part series. If you're interested in breaking free from stress and learning how to use your breath to help you, because listen, you're breathing anyway, you might as well make it work for you. And so check it out. If you're interested, just put me in the comment, I'm in, and I'll make sure you get all the information that you need for that. And so I want to bid you good night. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world, and do what you need to do for yourself. Take time for yourself to stress less and live a more vibrant life. Good night.